Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Matt.
I'm Callie.
I'm Pop-Pop. I'm Daniel.
And we're some of the Veggie boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Turn around, turn around. This is my counterweight.
Yeah,
a little more.
Oh, yeah, there's more.
Oh, wait, hold on. Little pick and snack. Oh yeah. Look at all the little baby watermelons coming. Ooh! It's a lot of baby watermelons in there, wow. And cantaloupe. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to have you right away. A little round of applause for Daniel to start off the video. He backed down that entire road so we didn't have to drive through the mud on this side of the field. Oh, look at that. Woo! Another thing in here that we gotta check out. Oh, look at the watermelons coming. We got some sugar babies in here. It's nice to have everyone with us today. We got a little bit of rain last night, which was really helpful for the crops. You can see these cantaloupe, watermelon, and honeydew have exploded. There's basically just an entire coverage of plant. Another thing that has been exploding has been our pickling cucumbers. There is a lot to pick here this morning and we need to get started. Now with the little bit of rain that we received last night, it softened up the ground and we were able to see that we had some deer walking through the pickling cucumbers, but I don't see anywhere where they were maybe snacking on any of the cucumbers. They all seem to be pretty good. Depending on the year and what you're harvesting, you will see certain things have more crop damage than others. Pickling cucumbers, they will get hit by deer some years, but this year it doesn't seem too bad. We do have a crop that is getting hit really, really hard by crop damage. We haven't really highlighted that on the channel yet. Maybe we'll get to it today, but you know, for the most part, things have been looking good, but we have had one crop that just, it's been beaten up pretty bad. And that leads me to asking a big question to you guys. How has the garden been this year? Have you had any critters getting in there and causing issues? Well, if you have had that problem, I know it can be pretty frustrating, but just know the gardeners aren't the only ones dealing with it. Farmers deal with it as well. For these pickling cucumbers though, I'm happy to say things are looking pretty good. Don't seem to have too much trouble over here. Oh, look at that. Twins. They always seem to find me. While we're picking here, I do have a pretty cool update for you. We were able to get our pump working. We got the irrigation pump put into place, and we are currently watering every single thing that we have on mulch. To help you appreciate that it's actually being watered, you can see we've got a thin line of condensation running through here. And if we pull back the mulch a little bit, you'll notice, oh yeah, that ground is nice and soaked, and all these plants are enjoying a good drink. Here you can get a nice view at the line of moisture underneath the mulch. Just pull this back. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, I did mention that we got 2/10 of rain last night, which is nothing crazy, especially with how dry it's been. 2/10 is not enough. But because of the irrigation that is now running, every single thing on mulch is being watered as we speak. And I thought that was a pretty good update. It's something that a lot of you have been asking about ever since we got our irrigation all hooked up and not being able to have the pump run. That was a little frustrating, but now it's no longer a concern and it's working beautifully. Now, hopefully we don't have a dry year like we've had in years past. You know, I like it when we don't have to irrigate all the time. A little bit of rain would be nice. But now that it's all set up and in place, if we don't get the rain that we need, we don't get the moisture, we can always supplement by means of the irrigation. Irrigation, it's not, you know, equal to rain. When you have a rain, it's so much better. But the fact that we can't irrigate, it could save crops. The only thing I will add very quickly about the irrigation is when it comes to the tomatoes, every single drip line that we have for tomatoes, it has a valve on it. So when we're irrigating, we will get to the point where we no longer want to irrigate the tomatoes. I think we go at like 30 to 40% of the fruit is like turning. We will then turn the water off so that we don't split our tomatoes. So that's the only difference. Everything else, it'll continue to be watered, but the tomatoes, we can turn that off and on as needed. We can see we've got some big helpers out in full force today. Got some honeybees flying around. They're pollinating all of these cucumbers. What's very cool is close to where we're harvesting at, we actually have someone that has honeybee hives. And the honeybee hives, the bees that attend those honeybee hives, they pollinate all of this stuff for us. Now, for example, these cucumbers, they can be pollinated with the wind, but the fact that we've got a load of honeybees flying through here, it only benefits us, and it makes sure that we get as much pollinated as possible. Of all the questions that I get asked about here on the farm, for the longest time, a big one was, why don't you raise honeybees? You're doing all this planting, you're doing all this harvesting. Honeybees would be beneficial for you. And I agree, it's just, I do not have a lot of time. We're so stretched as it is already. And I wouldn't do a good job of taking care of the bees, and we'd possibly lose some hives, and I don't like that idea. So I think it would only be a detriment in the end. But we do have people here locally that raise quite a few hives, and we've got local people that are raising hives that bring honey into the farm market. So that's cool. Although it's not our own honey, it's not our own bees, we're still benefiting from it. And I like that. I like that I'm benefiting from it, and I like that I don't have the extra work. It would be fun to have your own honey and your own bees, but like I said, we're a little stretched thin as it is. Oop, you know, it's worse than picking cucumbers once, picking them twice. We've now got all the pickling cucumbers harvested. We have this first planting over here, and then we were doing a little looking around and we noticed our second planting needed to be picked, and we got a few baskets over here. Normally when it comes to harvesting first and second plantings, we like to pick the newest planting first, but thankfully we don't have much disease here in the fields yet, so we don't have anything to worry about too much. But the new planting of pickling cucumbers, it definitely needed to be harvested. Right when we were finishing up with harvesting though, we got a call from the girls at the farm, and someone was looking for long hot peppers. They wanted to make an order, and we were just coming over here to see if we had the peppers to harvest, and we do, so we're gonna get them picked. those look pretty good. They look really good. And what's nice is as we look out through the field here, seems like we've got more and more peppers just hanging. So that's good. That means we're gonna have plenty to harvest. We've got a little bit of time until lunch is here, and we were throwing back and forth ideas of what we wanted to get done. We were talking about our new favorite job, pulling weeds. There is a little bit of grass in here, which we're not concerned about, but you can see these rows that we had gone through and pulled the weeds on. They look absolutely gorgeous. Now, I was out here the other day and I was pulling some more weeds, and we got a decent amount of weeds pulled out of these rows, but there's still rows here that definitely need to be cleaned up. And we're gonna get started on that, because if we start to wait too long, when we start pulling these weeds out, it's gonna start bringing peppers with it. And that is not something we wanna deal with, because if we're pulling out peppers while we're pulling out weeds, well, that's only gonna mess up our crop that we've got going on. Now that we're running the irrigation underneath the mulch, these weeds are a lot easier to pull out, which is another big reason why we want to get this done today. It was pretty funny in one of the recent videos where I was pulling weeds. A lot of you guys were really excited to see that. I don't know why everybody is so excited to see us pull weeds. It is not that exciting. Believe me, I don't enjoy this job. I know you guys enjoy watching me do it, but I hope all the weeds are pulled in your gardens. That's all I gotta say. This is where I had pulled weeds the other day. You can see these pepper plants look really nice, and it's opened up pretty good. And then this is where we're at right now. So the plants will look a little rough after we're pulling the weeds out, but give it a couple days and they're gonna look just like that. I don't know if the peppers have really grown since we got the weeds pulled out of here. It sure does make the plants look a lot nicer, and I know the weeds aren't soaking up the water on these plants now. At the opposite end of the field where we had just started, that's where a lot of the weeds, that's where it's the most dense. But as we get towards the middle part of the field, it's not too bad. It just seems that either side is really the problem. So if we focus on those two ends and just get whatever we can in the middle, then I'll be happy. We got 3 more rows of peppers all weeded now. We've got about 2 rows here that are a little on the rough side, but then when we just move across from the road, we don't seem to have as big of a problem. I did see all the way at the beginning of the row of this little section of peppers that I'm looking at that we did have some morning glory growing in there. So that'll be annoying. That's gonna be a pain to deal with, but if we can get a bulk of it pulled out, it's gonna only benefit us. I was looking at the forecast. It says it was gonna be very warm today, but with the wind blowing like it is, it's making me feel pretty good. Making me feel real good. You seeing any big pumpkins over there?
Yep.
We're gonna have to walk over and check it out then. I like big pumpkins. Look at that. Beautiful. There's another one. I think we have a few plants of the very large pumpkins. I don't know if we've got anything coming yet on them. I am seeing blossoms, not too many big pumpkins yet, but that's okay. As long as we've got blossoms, that's a good sign. There's one growing. breeze is beautiful. Ooh, lunch today is a good one. I know I say this every single day. I saw a comment that says Andrew has never not enjoyed lunch. That is true. But look at what we got today. Grammy has made strombolis. Now, are they all ham and cheese strombolis?
These two are ham and cheese. Those two are beef steak.
Ooh, so like cheesesteak and then ham and cheese. Very nice. Smells like cucumber in here. The wind has died down a little bit and it's starting to really warm up outside. So what are you working on, Dad?
Sorting pickles.
Sorting pickles. We're gonna go through and sort them into different sizes. And what we're gonna do after they're sorted is they're gonna be sold to different customers. Some customers want the larger pickling cucumbers, while some want the smaller ones. And this is quite a bit of work. This is something that we've been doing for a while now and people have come to enjoy it, but it is a lot of work. While we were harvesting the pickling cucumbers, I talked about our irrigation system being hooked up now. That has been a big blessing for us, but there's been a couple other jobs that we've been taking care of on the farm. And yesterday I didn't have the camera, but another big job that we got taken care of was getting all of our cole crops transplanted into the soil. So that has been a big relief off of our hands. We no longer have to worry about watering all of that stuff. Now that it's in the field, it's gonna be catching up with everything else that we've recently transplanted. And for us, when it comes to vegetables, it's one of, or I should say, we're getting to the end of the plantings that we really need to get into the soil, our final plantings. So we've got our cole crops in, so we're all done with that. We are all done with peppers, we're all done with tomatoes. A big thing we are still putting into the soil is sweet corn. But now that I think about it, we only have like 2 or 3 more plantings of sweet corn, and then we're done with planting sweet corn. I know there may be a chance today that we're gonna try and get out and seed some more cucumbers, pickling cucumbers and zucchini. And there again, you're looking at our last planting for the year. The 2 plantings that we have right now and that we've started picking together, they've grown a little quicker than we'd like. I should say the second planting has grown quicker than we'd like. Probably should have transplanted that about 1.5 weeks or 2 weeks later than we did. I don't know if we were just excited or what the issue was, but now we're gonna have 2 plantings growing together. Is this gonna be a problem for us? I'm not sure. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. One reason why it would even be a problem is we just have too much of one crop at a time, and it can be a little difficult to sell everything at once. But we do have a lot of people looking for orders, so if we can get these orders all taken care of, well, that'll be a good thing. There's something else going on that I forgot to talk about, and that's baling the straw. We were able to get some straw baled. We actually got all of our wagons filled up, so those need to be unloaded. And that was gonna be the job for this afternoon, but we talked about it as a family. Daniel is not feeling well. It's kind of running through the family, people not feeling well. But because Daniel's not feeling well, we're gonna be down a guy. We feel like, you know, maybe tomorrow, where the temperature is gonna be about 20 degrees cooler, would be a great opportunity to get these wagons unloaded. You can see we've got this first green wagon right here. We've got our second wagon down there. And then beyond that would be the Peckway wagon with the flared sides. That one's also full. The straw looks beautiful. The wheat crop was really, really good. But all that straw that we were able to gather up, that's just as sweet. We're hoping to get about 2,000 small squares of wheat straw. And then once we got about 2,000 small squares, we're gonna be moving over to round baling it. Round baling squares takes a lot of the physical work out of it, which I'm a big fan of. But the small squares, we sell them here at the farm market to just everybody locally. They'll use them for decoration, or they'll use them for planting grass. It gets to the point where the small square bales almost are worth more than the entire wheat harvest. It's crazy to think about. I came out to the fields very quickly to show you guys something that we've got growing out here. We've got certain areas where it's growing nicer than others, but now that we're starting to receive some rain, the plants are starting to take off a little bit more and it's easier to see. This field that I'm walking through is actually our pumpkin field. So this is where we're gonna be having some pumpkins growing. I didn't get an opportunity to film pumpkin planting this year, sadly. But this is one field where our pumpkins are at, and here is another. And right over there on the ridge of that hill, we have some sweet corn. Now, I had talked about our problem that we were having now earlier on in the video where we were harvesting cucumbers, about animals giving us a tough time. And one day we'll go down in there and we'll look at it. But that first planting of sweet corn that we did under the biomulch, it got destroyed by deer. To the point where we're not even picking. Because at this point, you know, we should be picking sweet corn off that patch. It's just disgusting. You go down there and you walk through it, the deer hit it so hard, and it's right there next to a patch of, like a patched wooded area that the deer can just come right out of at night. But they went through and they ate the top of the tassel off to the point where the sweet corn is starting to develop ears, but it's not gonna get any kernels because there's no way for it to pollinate. So that was a bummer. Well, bummer is understatement. That was a big bummer. So, you know, you'll have things like that happen, especially when you're vegetable farming. But our second patch of sweet corn, it's not right next to a wooded area. So hopefully we don't run into the same problem with that one. The only thing that may give us an issue there would be like skunks and raccoons. Those skunks, they stink. And they like to eat the sweet corn. They love a good ear of sweet corn. I can't blame them. So I just got home from work, and how are you feeling?
I feel good.
You feel much better, don't you?
Yeah.
But who is sick? Mommy and the babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not cool. We don't like that. That makes us sad. But Callie and I are feeling pretty good. Callie just has a cough. And the cough is going away slowly, right?
Yes.
And what dress is this? Are you Anna?
Yes.
You look very pretty. Well, Callie, or should I say Anna, since I'm all done with work, that means this is where we're gonna end the video today, right? Yeah, so I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.